Hello YouTubers, welcome to my video review of the F80 M3. We're going to take it for a spin, talk about the car, what it's like to live with, the things that maybe aren't so great, and we'll talk about some of its competitors and how I arrived to choose this car and what I love about it. So let's go. Okay, so where should we start? So why did I buy the car? So I bought the car, and I think, you know, I bought the car because I become a family man, and I really was nearly going to go down the route of Lotus or Porsche or something like that, but just wanted more practicality because we drive to my parents in the Lake District, we drive to France, we go to races, and you know, I just want it to be usable. I don't want to have something that's like, oh, I can only use it, you know, to go for a Sunday drive. Just, you know, I just can't have that, if that makes sense. And plus my wife loves cars as well, and enjoys going on road trips and things like that. So, you know, with our son now, we need to accommodate that. So I tried the big three, the Quadrifoglio, the C63. C63 is great, makes great noise. Interior is more right on my wife's street. She loves Mercedes. It does make this look a little bit dated, but I prefer the feel of this. And iDrive is just definitely better. And the Quadrifoglio, well, what can I say about the Quadrifoglio? That is a beautiful bit of kit. It's rapid. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's such a great car, and I was this close. But because, you know, I haven't owned an Alfa, and you know, the old dynamic duo, trio, say you've got, as a petrol, you've got to own an Alfa. But you know, that's only because you've only understood real petrol head lust and pain, because you understand how unpractical, unreliable they tend to be. Unfortunately, it's not. They don't have that stigma for nothing. But I wanted to buy it, but I was this close, and I thought to myself, I could buy a diagnostic piece of software, one of those boxes, where I'd just be able to reprogram it if it ever derated, because they were doing that all the time. Like, you read Evo's long-term review of it, and you just like, you know, they wanted to just say, never let us down, and look, I would have bought one. But you just knew they went on certain piston heads, Evos, they all let them down. They tried doing track days, and I just couldn't bring myself to go to Le Mans, go to a track day, and just have one of the main reasons to buy the car. It just let me down while I'm doing that. So unfortunately, you know, it's sad, because I think they're fantastic cars when they're working. But you know, yeah. And then I got in this, and I am one of those people. Some people say the M3 is quite an unpredictable beast on the road, and in the wet, but I like that. You know, if you're going to have something as practical as this, why not make it scare you? Because if it's boring, you're going to want to get rid of it. Believe me, I've changed cars like hot dinners, much to the upset of family and friends. Not really friends, but family. And yeah, I love it. I love it how it is that bit. It just keeps me on my toes. But at the same time, when it's dry on a track, you know, you just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. You're like, wow. You know, they call them super saloons for a reason, because they're just so fast. And yeah, I saw this in this rare colour and thought to myself, gotta have it. I just gotta have it. You know, never see them in Long Beach blue. I love that colour. I was meant to wait another 6 months, but I thought it's worth it. I did the man maths and went, yeah, done deal. So bought it, and to be fair, I've never looked back. However, let's talk about a couple of negatives, and then we'll get straight on to the positives. So negatives, 20-inch wheels and skinny little 30 walled tyres. Yeah, just like, they're not good enough for British roads. They're just not, quite simply. I've now lowered this a little bit because of point 2, which is that god-awful gap at the front, which someone at BMW tells me the reason it's there is because when you put the carbon splitter on it, it's still got to be practical, and they don't want people complaining, well, you've made a car that I'm ripping it off on every speed bump, left, right and centre in London when I'm cruising round. And it's just, yeah, you can see that makes sense, you know, I understand that, but I have put some lowering springs on it, which has ruined the ride a little bit, unfortunately, especially when it's full. But, you know, I think I will probably go beast 16s at some point, and you know, it'll be better, but it's not that bad. But if it had the 19s on it, it would definitely be better. So look out, CS wheels. I know they're 20s on the rear, but half and half. We'll again, man maths, you know, the balance is there. So yeah, and if I had one other complaint, I would say it's probably been a few little niggles. So there's a diff mount, the rear diff, and basically it's a rework, so most of them should have had it done, but it should have a nylon bush in there now, because before, when it was more of a rubber bush, it gets warm and you can be going along in 6th gear, 7th gear, and you just give it a little bump and it'll go dum. And so I've had quite a bit of issues, but the dealers have been great. Sytner have been fantastic. You know, they've helped me out. Don't get me wrong, it took a long time to do because it went in when the lockdown came about and we had to wait to get stuff from Germany, and it you know, but they sorted me out of the car, saved some mileage on this, happy days. And it's sorted at their cost, which is the other important thing. So yeah, the one other thing is, a lot of people talk about this, and it is the steering wheel. It is massive, and having driven Lotuses and Porsches and things like that before, their steering wheels are so nice. This is just, well, you know, I hate to say this and lower the tone slightly, but whoever designed this is clearly in the adult entertainment industry, because this thing's massive. And I'm only little, I'm only 5'6", so on a good day. So I think it's way too fat. But yeah, as a steering wheel. So yeah, I'll get it trimmed out at some point. Just, it's not been a priority. And the actual final thing that's just popped into my head, and quite easily, you know, to change. If you're doing a lot of just quick road stuff, then you're probably gonna be all right. But if you're ever doing a track day, first thing you do when you buy one of these, take it in your garage or your driveway, jack it up, take the pads out, throw them in the bin. They are worse than toffee on a track day. Okay, so let's get on to some positives in this car. Right, what do I think? Positives. Practicality on this is amazing. The boot is huge. Right now, got the seats folded down, which is another reason that I didn't go for the Quadrifoglio, because I wasn't about to buy a brand new one. Let somebody else have the £20,000 depreciation. And yeah, just got my bike in and out on my way back, and there's just loads of space. You know, when I've got my son in the back, we have like a hammock for the dog as well. You know, it's just brilliant. And like this, it does amaze me that something could be as practical as this. Yeah, you take it to a track day, and then that's something else I love. It is, you put everything in Sport Plus apart from the steering, of course, because it's awful and heavy and just feels like, you know, something's about to seize up in the linkage, if it had linkage and wasn't electric. But you take it to a track day, and just, you know, I was there with some guys with a 996 GT3, and like in the quicker bends he was getting away because he's just flatter and more balanced, and it was set up for track days. But you know, on the straights, some of the tighter corners, getting on him, you know, I was there, and it's a great bit of kit, and it is just, yeah, as you can tell, I'm trying to find the words to just describe how fantastic it is, and that sort of thing. Like, I drive it quickly. It is just warp speed. I love it. You know, these people putting two new turbos on it and want 700 horsepower out of it. Who are you? What do you need that for? Like, you know, it's rapid. You know, I try and take it for a blast on some of my local roads. I'm like, oh, got to stop after 3 seconds. I'm, you know, breaking the speed limit. You know, it's just, yeah, it's fantastic performance for, you know, what is, when it's in comfort, you know, quite a good cruiser. So yeah, I love that about it. Now, something I love that other people may not is quite it does want to bite you sometimes. It does, like, it's like, yeah, you better pay attention because I'm a handful, and especially if it's a bit damp, which in the UK it often is. It's just, I love that about it though. For someone like me who's had, you know, everything from like a 205 GTI through to like when me and my wife had 911 turbo, it just is, yeah, it's so capable, but yeah, at the same time, you've got to watch it, you've got to respect it. And you know, I've chopped and changed cars, but don't feel like I'm in a rush to chop and change this car, because it'll keep you guessing, keeps you on your toes. It's like that treat 'em mean, keep 'em keen thing. That it's a genuine thing, and yeah, with this car anyway. And yeah, I love it for that, because it makes me just want to find out more about it, and you know, push it a little bit more. And yeah, it's great for that. What else do I love? I love the way it looks. Now I've lowered it that little bit on the front, got rid of that horrible arch gap. I think it sits lovely. I love the flared arches, how it's mean, how you know it's coming along and you're like, oh, that's not just a F30, you know, coming past. That is quite clearly, you know, an F80. That is an M3. You know, you start to see just the stance of it, as they say. Yeah, I do. I love the way it looks, especially in this colour. I'm just smitten with the look of it all. Then that brings me on to look at the interior. Well, it's a little bit dated on the front, but still, I really love it. And I also love these seats. These seats are the best seats I've ever had in a car by a long way. They're really, really comfortable, and I love that in your back seats you don't just get some cheap seats that like you get in like an Alfa or something like that and just plonk some crappy headrests in the top of them. You know, they've sculpted them to follow and mirror these drivers' bucket seats, if you can call them that, or sports seats. But yeah, they definitely have done a great job on these seats. And now that the new G80 is coming out, those seats look fantastic. But you know, I'm not at all jealous. These are great seats. I love it. Yeah. What else do I really like about this car? It makes an okay noise. I do like the noise. Do a bit of a U-turn. Cold start. Now, the reason these cars have this cold start where they go vroom and just piss all your neighbours off is because they've got to heat up the catalytic converters. And oh my god, is that so unnecessary? I don't want to annoy my neighbours. I like my neighbours. Like, just why? What annoys me even further, if I want to code it out, I can code the GTS software in here, drop of a hat, and code loads of stuff into the iDrive and blah blah blah. Get rid of cold start? No, I've got to completely remap it. Remap it, 700 quid, thanks very much for coming, or whatever it is. Just, no, I just want someone to tell me they can keep everything else as it was and just take out a cold start. I'll leave the car running for a little bit longer to warm the cats up, that's fine. And the neighbours won't hate it that I'm there doing it, because it's not like barking to say, I've started, I'm awake, are you awake? Well, no, because it's 6 o'clock in the chuffing morning and not all my neighbours have to get up then, especially when there's a national lockdown. But anyway, rant over. Okay, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I love the car. I wouldn't want to change it, and I've got a new video coming up soon. I've got a track day in a week's time, and I need some new boots because there's not much tread, and I think it's meant to rain, so that could be a great video. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.